Hello, check, check. Let's have a look here. Live chat. Oh, we have some viewers. What's up, guys? Let me know if you can hear me and everything's working right. Hey, what's up, guys? If you want to drop in the chat, make sure everything's working right. No idea if this microphone is actually working, so. Hey guys, how's it going? Everybody good? Hopefully everything's working properly. I've never done this before, so it's a bit of a trial and error this. I know we've got a few people watching now. As I said, if anybody's got any questions or anything, feel free to drop them in the live chat, and I'll try and answer everything. Oh, hey Sandra. Oh, awesome, that's great to hear everything's working fine. Yeah, I'm great, thank you. Had a bit of a nice chill day. I've just been working on a few things for YouTube before I get back into solid work again next week. Just trying to tick a few boxes, so just been busy working with cameras all day. How are you? Hey Vanessa, good to see you in chat. Um, so by continuous shooting, I'm guessing you mean in the burst shooting. Um, for me, I find it pretty important. When I was using my A6500, which is back there somewhere, the burst mode is pretty quick, but it's not as fast as what I would have liked it. But I still managed to make do pretty well with it. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't let it put you off too much. I do use it quite a lot just because in a certain sequence you don't know if you're definitely going to nail the shot with just one click. So it's always good to have it switched on. Um, but yeah, for me, it's quite important. But you also work within your means. If your equipment currently can't do that, then don't worry about it. Do as much as you can with it, and eventually you can work yourself up to be able to get equipment that can do that. So, hope any of those ramblings help. No problem, Vanessa. All good. Um, Sandra, well, the most elaborate video that I've made so far. It's a good question. That I'm not too sure. In fact, actually, I do know. I At the back end of last year, myself and Aaron from While She Sleeps, we worked. It was a big team effort. There was quite a decent sized team on it, and it took us a week. We shot a short film, but it was properly scripted. I was DOP on it. I was the director of photography, so I was shooting the actual short film. Aaron was directing it. Um, we had makeup, we had set dress, lighting, we had gaffers. Um, that was probably the most elaborate one, but yeah, it was a week shoot, um, long days, late nights. I can't really go too much into it yet because nothing's really been released about it. It's, I think, a trailer. Aaron might have put a trailer up on his Instagram. I think at the beginning of this year he shared something about it. So if you go to at Aaron AARANWSS on Instagram, you should be able to see something about it there. But yeah, that's easily the most elaborate one I've worked on so far. Either that actually, or the Eye to Eye music video for While She Sleeps that we all worked on. That was all in house. Myself and Aaron doing a lot of the shooting, all the guys pitching in with directing, set dressing again. And I think the planning stage of that was about a week long, but the actual shooting of the video, I think it took us a week. But that was pretty hectic as well. But I think the short film was probably more elaborate than that. mate, how much do you plan daily tour edits ahead before each gig? Have you an idea what you're looking for that night, or are you more fluid slash flexible? Yeah, all right, Graham, mate, how you doing? That's a good question. I'd probably say 9 times out of 10, I kind of know what I'm going to be doing before the show. Um, I do have a little bit of a sit down because I used to get into a little bit of a trap when I first started off within, I'd probably say the first at least 2 years of doing this job, where I was creating something that felt more like a series on Instagram. Like I used to have an intro, everything like that. And it always ended up becoming very samey. And in today's way of social media, where you've got like, I'm sure it's something like, you have to hook someone within the first, I'm sure it's something crazy like 3 seconds or something now. When something's quite samey every single time, they feel like they've already seen it. So now what I do is I sit down and I don't serialize things anymore. I try and make each edit of every night to be different as much as I possibly can. Sometimes I'll go back to a certain style a few more shows in, but as long as they're not like together like that. So what I'll do is I will sit down backstage, either sometimes with the band. If there's any other creators on the tour as well, I'll sit down and talk with them, or I'll just figure it out myself. And it kind of also depends a lot on where you are, the size of the venue. So usually, say, if I'm in a really nice city, usually a capital city like Berlin, London, New York, I usually like to go for a bit more of a cinematic edit because the surroundings are so great. It works perfectly for that kind of thing. So that's usually what I'll try and go for with like those types of areas. If it's like a smaller venue, like a bit more of a punk rock thing, then I'll try and lean a little bit more into that and go a bit more punk rock with the style of filming, the pace of the edit, and the music choice as well. So yes, it is something that I actively do try and plan before the show. Sometimes if I've had a late night working, um, and I haven't quite got the brain capacity to figure it out, then I will figure it out on the fly, and then in the edit I'll see what works. Sometimes as well I'll come up with a plan and it doesn't quite work. Um, it doesn't quite work practically as what I thought it would have done in my head. So sometimes I have to go back to the drawing board, but the footage kind of at that point the footage dictates where I end up taking that edit. So yeah, hope that answers your question. Just rambling yet again. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Really appreciate that. Very kind. Okay, yeah. So I usually get a few weird looks and a few laughs from the other crew and fans when I'm walking around with that with that stick. It's got a 360 camera on the end of it. Um, the reason that I use it is because you can't fly drones indoors. There's so many. Like I used to have a drone, and nowadays there's so much red tape involved with flying a drone that I got rid of it. I just can't be bothered with it. So I thought the next best thing is to get a 10-foot pole with a 360 cam on the top of it. And the way that the 360 camera works, with the stitching of it going together, it gets rid of the pole, so it just looks like a flying camera. So that's the reason I use that camera. Okay, so tips for shooting with the 360 camera. Um, it's a good question because I'm still trying to get to grips with it a little bit myself. In terms of mainly image quality. Um, just because the sensor's so small on it, with concerts and stuff being so dark, my footage falls apart quite a lot, um, which I'm not very happy about. I have got, in fact, where is it? Yeah, so that's that's the one I'm using. Is the Insta 360 One X. I don't know if you'll be able to see that if my camera will focus, but it's she's a little bit damaged, bless her. Um, but yeah, it's I kind of just I try to keep it as static as possible. Keep it focusing on the action of what's happening. If the crowd's going crazy, then I'll put it over the crowd. If something cool's coming up with the band members, I'll just try and focus on that. Basically, using it like a normal camera, but I try to stay as static as possible with it. Just because when you're moving it around so much, you're getting a lot of blur. Oh, we've lost connection. One second. Are we back? Are we back? No, we're not. Bear with me 1 second, guys. The battery's died in my camera even though I had it plugged in, so I'm just trying to sort that now. Okay, we should be back. Let's see when this catches up on YouTube. Yep, there we go, we're back. Okay, so where was I? Yeah, the 360 camera. I try not to move it too much, just because the footage already is a little bit beat up. And when you're moving it around, swinging it around, you're getting a lot of blur in the image. So I try not to move it around too much. Basically, I go where the action's happening and just hold it there. Yeah, that's it. Um, okay. Would you say success as a content creator depends on where you live? No, I don't think it does. I am from Doncaster in the UK, and there is nothing going on round here that would ever mean that I would be able to get into this job. I don't, to be honest with you, I don't know how I have. But yeah, I don't think. Oh, pardon me. 1 second. Um, I'll miss you too, Jar. Hope you're good, mate. um, yeah, so I don't think it depends on where you live. It kind of depends on where you can go. Um, yeah, it's you need to go where the shows are, basically. In Doncaster, there's basically no shows anymore, so there's nothing really that I can do round here. However, if I go a little bit further afield to Leeds, Manchester, Sheffield, there are shows going on there. So it's more about where you can get to rather than where you are. What do you personally prefer in general? Photography and in concert photography, photos in black and white or colour? General photography and in concert photography. Um, I don't know, to be honest with you. I love shooting concerts and I love shooting just in general. Um, yeah, I just enjoy doing it. So basically, as long as I've got a camera in my hands and I'm shooting away, then I'm happy. Photos in black and white or in colour. The image itself dictates that to me. So a lot of the time, you'll go black and white if the colours aren't working very well, or you can use colour or black and white to kind of influence someone's emotions. So if you're wanting someone to feel a certain way about the image, then that'll be like, okay, I want him to feel this way. I'll go black and white because that does that. Or I'm wanting to feel a bit more frantic, so you'll start leaning into the colours a little bit more. So I don't have a preference at all. I love both of them as long as they work properly with the photo that's been taken. So it's all dictated to by the actual photo. I miss you too, James. When are you coming off this K-pop tour and coming back home? Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. If you had to choose only one of them, videography or photography? Oh, um, good question. um, oh, I, I mean, to be fair, I've actually, even though, sorry, one second, let me mute this. Um, with gig photography, concept photography, um, I've not been doing that as long as I've been doing concept videography. However, I've been doing photography for, oh, I don't even know. I studied it at sixth form. I used to take photos on my mum's old film camera, her 35mm camera. So I've done that a lot longer. Um, I'd probably go with photography. I don't know. That's a tough question. They're there and there. So yeah, I'm not too sure. I love both of them, but if I had to choose, I'd probably say photography. Saying that, most of the work that I seem to be doing recently is all back to video base. It's kind of back to basics where I first started. So can you estimate how much time you invest daily in your job with video cutting and photo editing? Oh, I mean, on tour, it's a lot of time. Um, Usually, my day is I'll wake up around about. I like to be up no later than 9 a.m. usually, and I'll get up and I'll start editing straight away again because I'll still be working on stuff from the night before. It depends as well if it's a headline show or a support show. But 9 times out of 10, I'll be working a headline show, so I'll be up preferably no later than 9 a.m. I'll start doing my editing from the evening before, or carry on doing the editing, I should say. And then as soon as I've finished that, I go into the venue, set myself up, get a shower, brush my teeth and what have you, get some food. And then once I've done that, I'll either continue editing if nothing's going on, if nothing's happening, or if stuff's happening, then I'll start filming all the way up to the show. And then obviously I shoot the show. As soon as I get off stage from the show, I'm dumping footage onto my hard drive, starting editing all over again. So, and I mean, I can be editing until 4 a.m. sometimes as well, 4 a.m. So it's many hours. Yeah, it differs depending on what's happening on the day. But like what? Like I don't really know. 15 between 15 and 17 hours sometimes I can be working. On and off, going for breaks, having meals. Again, depends what's happening on the day. What's your favourite system for backing up stuff on the road and when you get back home? I use SSDs, external SSDs, Samsung T5 and a Samsung T7. So usually what I'll do is I'm trying to figure out a new system for doing this. I want to be able to have a a system back at home that I'm able to access through a cloud, so I can drop onto my SSD and also back it up to home just in case anything happens on the road. But using a SSD, an external one. Yeah, so this is my main one that I use when I'm out on the road, and I've got a T7 which is currently plugged into my Mac Mini. And then once I've dumped onto there, I will back up onto a normal hard drive, a HDD, just as a backup. But generally the SSDs are good enough. But I am trying to find a new way of going around that. I've recently been told about this software that you can use that duplicates everything to files back home. So I'm looking into that at the moment. What was the biggest show you've ever shot? I mean, biggest show. Probably when I was out on the Slipknot tour with Behemoth, maybe. One of the shows on that. I think we did one which was like 21,000 people. But also I've shot for Slipknot at Download Festival, so that's probably actually bigger. Yeah, I'll probably say that one's the biggest one, Slipknot at Download. Did you study photography or video or teach yourself everything? I would like to say I studied photography. I went to a few classes when I was younger. I can't say I paid much attention because I was a little bit more away with the fairies when I was younger. I was more interested in skateboarding, so I studied it, but I didn't pay attention. With video, I taught myself everything that I know. Photography, the stuff that I'm doing now, I taught myself all of that because I kind of forgot most things that I'd learnt as well. I basically, when I quit my job, between quitting my job and going out doing this kind of stuff, I forced myself to get up at 5 a.m. every single morning, go to sleep at 10 p.m. at night, and that entire day I would just be sat in front of a computer soaking in as much information as I could through YouTube, through Skillshare, through blogs, and I was reading as much as I possibly could as well to learn about business and stuff like that. So 90% of my stuff that I know from photography is self-taught, and 100% of the stuff from video is self-taught as well. Do you use? It is a minefield, mate. Honestly, it's more information than what I can cram into my head at the moment. And I don't use any LUTs at all. I color grade every single time, which is stupid because I created presets for Lightroom to be able to speed up my editing process, and I haven't done the same for video yet, which I probably should, to be fair. I have got a few go-to settings that I always use with certain videos and stuff, so I probably should make some LUTs. It would speed up my work a damn sight more. I do, in fact, actually, I do use a LUT to correct my, because I'm currently using the camera at the moment, the Sony A7 IV, and I'm shooting in S-Log 3. So what I do is I do have a correction to correct my footage to Rec 709. So I've got a good starting point. Sometimes that doesn't work though, and it looks a little bit too contrasty, and I'm losing a lot of information. So I will then go into the footage itself and correct it manually using curves and what have you. But yeah, don't use any LUTs apart from a Rec 709 converter. Let me know as well, guys, if you would like me to do more of these kind of live sessions. I can probably structure some a little bit more, so when some people come in, I can do like a talk through on a video edit, or I can talk about my equipment that I use, or just how I work in general. So I can. Oh God, we've died again on the camera. Come on. Think we're back in the game. No worries, Graham, mate. Take it easy. Yeah, I'll try and make some. I'll try and script some more structured. Um, oh, yep. Sorry, we're back in. Yeah. Some more structured versions of these, so I can give people more of a heads up as well. Today's a little bit more of a trial. I've never done a live stream before, so wasn't too sure how it'd go talking live to a camera and talking to you guys. But yeah, I've enjoyed this. It seems to have gone well. So cheers for coming on, guys. I'm actually going to bail in a second because I am going to go and watch someone else's live stream. Actually, there's a guy who I follow on YouTube. I can't remember his name now. Um, I'm learning a lot about marketing at the moment. So he does a live stream at English time 4 p.m. Every Saturday. So I'm gonna go watch his live stream. Adam Earhart, that's it. I can see his live now. Right, I'm gonna bail, guys. It's been lovely. Thank you for your questions. Really appreciate it. Great to see you guys on the internet, at least anyway. Hope everyone's well, and yeah,